Hello everyone, and welcome to Flowing with Angels. Thank you so much for joining me for this angelically inspired tarot and oracle card reading. In this reading, we are going to look at your energy and what it emanates out into the world. And before I started to prepare the cards and the runes, I asked the angels for specific guidance for the collective. So if you were guided to this video, there will be some useful information and inspiration for you here. If you are interested in a personal reading, please visit my website flowingwithangels.com for more information. Now let's dive straight into the reading. Before us we see two completely different cards. So this tells me that your energy has a dual aspect to it, or some sort of follow-up or alternation in energy. Let's start with the first card, which is called Blood Month, with the keywords sacrifice, offerings and decision. Now the term Blood Month is a very old one. It refers to a month of sacrifices, usually November, in times when people had to make a decision how much livestock to slaughter in order to survive the upcoming long, cold winter. If the harvest had been plentiful, ensuring enough food for both humans and animals, cattle would be slaughtered at a manageable level, and there would be enough animals left for the following year. However, if the harvest was poor, more animals had to be slaughtered as an assurance to get through the winter without a major shortage of food, but at the risk that there would not be enough cattle left for the next year. This was a tough and difficult decision. The decision how many animals needed to be sacrificed for the survival of all. So when we translate this story to your energy, it conjures up the question, what do you have to sacrifice for not only your survival, but for your well-being and thriving in this lifetime? The word sacrifice suggests that it involves material and immaterial things and situations that you have come to believe are essential to your survival and that are somehow interwoven in your sense of self and in your energy. Yet the cards show a picture of what looks like a vampire bride, looking for ways to quench her thirst for blood, which suggests that although you hold these things dear in a way, as they are part of your life story, they are in fact sucking the life force out of you. I feel that you have gathered up a lot of judgments, distractions, unhealthy patterns and beliefs during the course of your life, that you are now prepared to sacrifice for your highest good, or have been sacrificing for your highest good. And because these things are a part of your identity and personality, it feels hard, especially for the ego, to give them up and to let them go. But I feel that you have come to a point that you realize this sacrifice is needed in order to move to the next stage of your life and experience a whole different energy that we see in the second card, an energy of abundance, of beauty and opportunity. But before we are going to look at this card, let's take a look at the rune that accompanies the Blood Month card, which is the rune of Gibo. Now Gibo is most known to be the rune of partnerships, but it is also the rune of sacrifice and the balance of give and take. We can only receive if we are willing to give, and in this case it is the sacrifice of everything that was hindering and holding you back for so long. If you have suffered from shortage in your life or some form of emotion or of physical neglect, it is harder to wholeheartedly give in the first place, because you have received so little in return before. And there is a bit of a mistrust when it comes to the equal balance of give and take. Therefore you may be more prone to hold on to what you have. With the Gibo rune, the angels wish to tell you that it is safe for you to let go, and that what you give will return to you in one way or another. You do not have to be afraid of lack, because the universe is keeping score for you. It is also safe for you to receive. Keep your heart and energy open, and trust that what you release will make place for better things and circumstances to come in. And the second card, which is called Frigga, shows that you have been very successful already with your sacrifices, because it shows that your energy also emanates a beautiful frequency of abundance and of a readiness to thrive and prosper. You are definitely reaping the fruits of your releasing process. This card speaks of investing in yourself, in your health, in your spiritual well-being, in your home, and in your areas of interest that make you blossom into who you were meant to be in this lifetime all along. Frigga is the kindest, fairest, and wisest goddess in Norse mythology, with powerful protective and nurturing qualities. She's the equivalent of the Roman goddess Venus, and she brings an energy of plenty, abundance, growth, and fertility. Your energy resembles this energy. Whether you are a man or a woman in this lifetime, that does not matter. On the card, you can see that she's wearing a laurel wreath on her head, a sign of victory, of overcoming something. You have been victorious, and you will continue to be victorious. The rune that accompanies this card is the rune of Lagus, which is the rune of the flow of feelings, of inspiration, intuition, and psychic gifts. This rune brings the energy of following your dreams, because by knowing what you don't want, which is the other part of your energy, what you have been sacrificing, you make room for what you do want. You are a very intuitive person and in touch with your beautiful heart. You are very aware of your feelings and that of others. Maybe you are even an empath. The Lagus rune is connected to the element of water, and as part of your energy, it shows your tremendous capacity of emotional renewal, rejuvenation, cleansing, and healing. I feel you are also very psychic. You receive information and inspiration through dreams, visions, and creative and artistic outlets. There is like an element of magic to you that others might not fully understand, and that makes you vulnerable as well, but at the same time immensely powerful, because showing this vulnerability is what will bring you your abundance and blessings in this life. Your journey in this lifetime feels like it has been one from lack and shortage to abundance and prosperity on all levels of your life, whether this concerns material prosperity or immaterial treasures like love, fulfillment, and inspiration. And this is because of your willingness to bring the necessary sacrifices in the form of release, healing, and transformation. Let's move on to some other cards to dig a little bit deeper into your energy. And by the way, if this reading resonates with you so far, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more readings to come. Now I have paired the cards in two couples. The first ones belong to the Blood Month card, and the third and fourth card belong to Frigga. So when I think of the sacrifices that you've had to make, this first card shows that it is related to a burden of guilt. And there are various reasons why we carry guilt. It can relate to acts that we have committed and later regretted, or that we think that we have failed to do something, or that we should have done something. And I think the most important reason of all is because we think we are or have been morally wrong at some point. And this is mostly imprinted upon us by others as we were growing up. Because on the card we see a mother and a small child in the background, so it is very likely that these feelings of guilt started as soon as your early childhood. And although guilt is a heavy load to carry, it can also be one of those emotions that drives us to act, to make amends, to better our lives. And I think this is certainly the case for you, because the second card is a card of success. In both cards we see someone climbing up a mountain. At first he is carrying a load of guilt, but this gets transformed along the way into milestones of success. And with every new level that you reach, you plant your flag of victory until you reach the top, and your perspective on life as well as your energy are forever changed. You can also see the energy of the Lagus rune again, with the little stream running down from the top of the mountain. A stream of purifying and cleansing waters that bring you healing along the way. The trees symbolize new stages of health, stability and well-being that you have reached by shedding the guilt. And feel free to share what this burden of guilt has meant for you in your life in the comment section if you wish to do so. And now, instead of feeling like a victim, you have empowered yourself and your burden has become your gift. And then we come to the result of your climb to the top, which we can see in the last two cards that are just amazing. You are emanating a beautiful energy of peace and innocence. And as being innocent is the complete opposite of being guilty, we see that you have totally transformed the old paradigm into a new one. These are cards of grace, connected to the divine fruits of the Holy Spirit. The stream of healing waters has turned into a magnificent fountain of inner peace and joy, a source of light and truth, continuously fueling you with these higher energies, which is just wonderful. On the second card, we see a figure dressed in white, helping you out of your cage, out of your prison of guilt. And once again, with the Lagus rune in mind, this refers to your team of angels and spirit guides who are helping you through this transformation. And I also love the kite in the background, which reminds me of a carefree and childlike energy that's radiating from you. Being able to enjoy your life and being able to fully accept yourself as the wonderful human being and eternal soul that you are is your ultimate destination in this lifetime. The dark clouds that were glooming over you in the guilt card have made way for a beautiful, clear and sunny sky. And although you might still fall back into the former energy from time to time, because we all have those shadow moments, especially when we get triggered by something or someone that resonates with our feelings of guilt, your energy of light becomes stronger and stronger with each new level of growth that you reach. It is believed that spiritual growth is like an upwards going spiral, where we make progress but also revisit those old feelings in a new package or on another level that is just part of life. But for now, we are going to celebrate the freedom and liberation for you that gets you more in the flow of life, allowing yourself to receive and enjoy yourself more. And lastly, we are going to take a look at the story that the tarot cards will tell us about your energy. First, we see the Nine of Chalices, which is the Nine of Cups in a traditional tarot deck. This is a card of personal emotional fulfillment and happiness. We see a woman sitting in front of a nice and cozy fire. This is the initial fire of cleansing and purification, the sacrifices that you have made with the Blood Month card, which then transforms into a fire of love, of passion, of power and transformation, until it steadily burns at the center of your home, which is your heart, keeping you warm, content, and filled up with light. The 9 cups on the mantelpiece look more like trophies, which, like the red flags that you planted on your way to the mountaintop, are milestones of your progression and growth. With each level you have reached a greater sense of fulfillment and confidence. And the beautifully glowing sphere is a symbol of a peaceful and soothing energy, bringing harmony and balance to your life, while enhancing your psychic and intuitive gifts, like we saw with the Lagus rune. There is a little ladybug on the sphere as well, an omen of good luck, blessings, and protection from the higher realms to which you have a strong, natural connection. And then next to this very auspicious card, we say a card with a totally different energy, just like the cards that we started the reading with. This is the Eight of Swords, and it shows your prison of guilt, like we saw before. Each sword represents a sacrifice made towards improvement, and the little hedgehog is of course there to ensure you that your intricate self-work of releasing your burden of guilt in order to liberate yourself and move towards happiness and true fulfillment will be successful. You have all the skills that you need, as well as the resilience and strength to get to the top of the mountain and thrive. And then the last card is the Knight of Pentacles. And the two key words that come to mind are patience and perspective. There is a hawk soaring through the sky that brings in the vision and focus to help you soar to new heights in your life. In order to handle these two opposite energies that are depicted in the previous two cards and that are a part of you, you need to take solid and practical action steps with an unwavering dedication and a steadfast approach. There needs to be a solidification of your energy. The beautiful energy that we saw with the card of Frigga will manifest into tangible results and manifestations. You can be sure of that with this card. You will be able to see it, touch it, hear it, and smell it. The Knight of Pentacles also shows you that you are a person with a great sense of responsibility, loyalty, and duty. You have what it takes to finish what you start, even though in the past you did not always succeed due to the heavy burden of guilt. But now that you got rid of that for the most part, an enormous amount of energy is being released that you can now channel towards your goals. You will do well with a good routine and structure in your life. This will support you to keep organized and motivated. The Knight of Pentacles carries a real pentacle, which is a seed of enormous potential that will take root once you plant it. He could also signify that help and support is coming in for you, so be open to it and allow the universe to show you the way and guide you towards helpful people and resources. Go on and go forwards is what the angels are encouraging you to do. Step through the portal of transformation from being guilty to being innocent, and from being held captive to being free and ready to thrive. And then use your gifts and talents for your highest good and that of others. And with this beautiful encouragement, we have come to the end of this reading for you. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope it was helpful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next reading. Sending you lots of love and light and blessings as always. Until next time, namaste.